What's up, family? We already did the autopsy, so I guess we got to dig up the corpse because there's some dirty skeletons in the closet. And hold up, just so you know who I'm talking about, I'll show her on the screen for a second because this the pimp that's in distress. You see that face right there at the bottom of the screen, family? That is just crazy, man. So the Kamala Harris campaign, which was horrendous in itself, the losing campaign, they have collapsed, obviously, because they lost the election. But they have bigger worries and bigger fish to fry, so to say. As you guys see presented on the screen, the Kamala Harris campaign ended up with at least 20 million in debt, per two sources familiar. Harris raised over 1 billion and had 118 million in the bank as of October 16th, obviously, of this year, 2024, the year of our Lord. Man, that is just wild. But it goes on even to say, we're going to go more. Okay. So this just got it more explosive. A Kamala campaign staffer who saw these posts called me just now and said there is a massive scandal here worthy of an audit. The 20 million debt thing is real. Rob Flaherty, the staffer, said is currently shopping around the Kamala fundraising email list to anyone who wants it to try to raise the money back. This includes other campaigns and outside groups. Flaherty is the deputy campaign manager and reports to Jen O'Malley Dillon, quote unquote. Jen blew through $1 billion in a few months, and it was all Jen's idea to do all the concerts, Kamala campaign advisor told me. This source added that O'Malley Dillon did these concerts like Katy Perry, Lizzo, Eminem, Bruce Springsteen, etc., at the expense of, quote unquote, prioritizing and spending money on social media and other campaign priorities. Apparently, a group in Georgia had to lay off 100 people because they couldn't pay them. It's unclear at this time if the campaign paid the talent to perform, but the cost of production for the events was immense. What's more, this Kamala campaign staffer said several people who were working for the Kamala Harris for president campaign are still awaiting several overdue payments they were promised for their work. Talk about empty promises, family. Empty promises? Man, ain't this party full of empty promises? Man, ain't they full of it as a whole? Man, this Kamala staffer said to me, O'Malley Dillon, quote unquote, people didn't like working with her. Many people in the campaign felt like we lost because Kamala wasn't allowed to run her campaign. They were running Joe Biden's campaign instead of a Kamala campaign. Obnoxious and very much a gatekeeper and interfering with the vice president's people who were trying to do their job, closing quote. Man, let's go with the hypothetical because basically they're trying to say that they were running Joe Biden's campaign and that's why it was difficult working with Kamala because they were running Joe Biden's campaign instead of Kamala's campaign. But as if it was going to make any difference if they were running Kamala's campaign, right? You talking about Kamala Harris, the individual who could not get to Iowa in the 2019 election, wasn't even considered a presidential elect. This was given to her. That's why she is a DEI. She did not earn it, right? And she, obviously, the individual that could not answer basic questions, and she even incited that Bidenomics worked when she don't even know the basic economics. Okay? And this was the same person, if you shake a 8-ball, she will spit out the same Democratic platitude and give you the sensical nonsense word solid of foolery that she would say out of ignorance of not having the best interests of the people. Right? And she ran off a whole campaign with the sentiment of weaponizing reproductive rights when we all know that simmers down to the decision of your state in which you want to get rid of unwanted babies. Okay? Let's make that more clear. You know what I'm saying? So, goes on to say, and I'll continue because there's another tweet that I want to say. There's need to be an audit of the Kamala campaign finances top to bottom. Donors and supporters of hers must be furious. Where did the money go? And not to mention, family, the individuals like Beyonce and Lizzo, if they did get money and endorse and make an appearance and endorse Kamala Harris, I think the monies should be disclosed because it's basically an advertisement. So I believe that it should be disclosed that they are getting paid to endorse and advertise Kamala Harris with individuals like Kamala Harris, any of the entertainers. But anyway, we're going to go into the meat and potato of things because now, family, we have the article. Kamala Harris fell $20 million in debt in final week. And it goes on to say, Vice President Kamala Harris' campaign fell $20 million in debt during the final week of her campaign, according to several sources. Christopher Cadago, the California Bureau Chief for Politico, wrote in a post on X that Harris' campaign had, quote unquote, ended with at least $20 million in debt, according to two sources familiar with the situation. I already showed you guys and explained that. However, let's scroll down some more. So it goes on to say the concerts that Harris' campaign held with celebrities like Katy Perry, Lizzo, Bruce Springsteen, and so forth. Jen, the campaign staffer for Kamala Harris, blew through it. As a result of being $20 million in debt, Rob Flaherty, the deputy campaign manager for Harris' campaign, is reportedly shopping around the Kamala fundraising email to list anyone who wants to try to raise the money back. We talked about that. We talked about people don't like work with her, and they say because they were running Joe Biden's campaign and not Kamala Harris' campaign. But I want to show you guys something that's very, very interesting, right? And here it is. So there needs to be an audit of the Kamala campaign finances top to bottom. Donors and supporters of hers must be furious. Where did the money go? Then it goes to say MAGA Incorporation has found something very fishy going on with Kamala headquarters media. Man, buying down the home stretch in order to pay her tab at a station in Tennessee. She had to cut several different checks on the same day. More evidence of cash flow issues. Did she blow it all on Lizzo? Let's open it up, family. It's sending us to Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter. Just waiting for it to unfold. Let's give it a second. You know how social media, internet, and all that be with technology sometimes. But here we go. So these are the checks, right? More evidence on cash flow issues. Did she blow it out on Lizzo? These are the checks that are publicly available. Let's check them out. Let's check them out. We got to check out the money, baby. We got to check out the money. You know what I'm saying? You got to check out that money. So this is one of the checks. So apparently, and let me move the comments. Let me make it full screen for you. This is one of the checks. Okay, family? So they did a check for $1,085. Let's go on. Another check for $2,156.50. Another check, 200. We already did the 50 cent. This is the last check. They did 3 checks. So this is the third one. $507, family. $507. Man, that's all the money they had? You got to be kidding me. The party that been wealthy for how long? For decades. You know, Republicans don't, well, Donald Trump is rich. We're going to put it that way. You know what I'm saying? He don't need the money. He don't need the money. Because when he was president, he didn't even get paid he didn't take the money to be paid as president. He doesn't need the money. But what I'm trying to say is the Democratic Party being wealthy, and usually Republican runners don't have that much money because they're conservatives. And at the end of the day, they stand on morals. They're patriotic, right? They don't compromise their morals and fall down to their knees doing things for money. And that's what it gets you. You know what I'm saying? This is what it gets you, family. Can you imagine if this campaign, Kamala Harris campaign, if she can't manage campaign funds, how is she going to be able to manage the funds in regards of having the best interest of us and handling this economy? Now, we already know she done stated on The View with Whoopi Goldberg and many other individuals that if she could change anything being part of the Biden administration, would she? And she said she don't think she should change or would change anything. That told us right there what we needed to know, right? But she mismanaged funds. And this shows from the radical left, the Democrats or the Demorats, or the or let's put it like this. The Hipporats. Put it like that, man, because they're very hypocritical within themselves. They are their own demise. We didn't have to do nothing but vote and make our voices be heard. Isn't that beautiful, family? That's beautiful. Let's give us all a round of applause. We the people, man. You know what I'm saying? But it goes on to say that this is why Donald Trump is advocating for things to be audited, because these individuals been mismanaging funds and looking at us, we the people, as a leg up for their own personal vendetta and their own purchase interests using our taxpaying dollars. Now, Kamala Harris never worked in the private sector. She has been paid by the people, as she claims that she's for the people. But this is how you manage funds that are by the people. You've been endorsed by people that believed in you. And they said, as you guys have heard me read, that the people had difficulty working with her because they had to run Joe Biden's campaign and it wasn't necessarily a Kamala Harris campaign. But how does that absolve from the issue? And comment down below, family. How does that take away from the issue that these people, these vendors, wasn't paid? That doesn't justify that she had the money and she didn't pay these people. She paid who she wanted to pay. So could you imagine if she was running and this administration, Kamala Harris administration, was running the country and advocating for us and lobbying the things that should be for the best interest of us? Could you imagine the empty promises that she would give? Could you imagine, family, if she could mismanage those funds, how many more funds she could mismanage using taxpaying dollars? What are we talking about here? And we wonder why inflation is where it's at. Oh, let me remind you, because I did take note. This is where we're at right now currently, the economy, right? And this is how she left us, the same way she left her campaign in debt, right? This is where we're at as a country. Let's remember this, and I want to ask you guys thoughts on this. Remember this, family, just so everyone has a base to compare for now into the future with Donald Trump administration. Current average prices as of November 8th, 2024. Gas, $2.96. Eggs, $3. Ground beef, $6 per pound. Milk, $4.02. Bread, $2.03. Lumber, $561 per thousand board feet. New car, $4,397. Used car, $27,297. 2-bedroom rental, $1,532. Unemployment rate, 4.1%. Inflation rate, 2.4%. Average yearly income, $37,585. Now remember, Kamala Harris said, oh, we know inflation is high, but it's coming down. It's still an ongoing issue. She have inflation in her own Democratic Party. How you figure that? But anyway, family, I have breaking news as of today in which Donald Trump has spoken. And man, oh man, this was 2 hours ago. And this was posted today. Donald Trump has said, I am very surprised that the Democrats, who fought a hard and valiant fight in the 2020 presidential election, raising a record amount of money, didn't have lots of money left over. Now they are being squeezed by vendors and others. Whatever we can do to help them during this difficult period, I would strongly recommend we as a party, and for the sake of desperately needed unity, do. We have a lot of money left over, and that our biggest asset in the campaign was, quote unquote, earned media. And that doesn't cost very much. Make America great again. How can you not like this guy, man? How can you not love this man, man? How could you not? See, it's not about the money. Character is what keeps you. Character is the core values in which you stand on, and you stand for something. Because if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything, right? He's all for unity. Donald Trump is peaceable. As much as they try to make him the angry, mad, orange man, he's extending his hand. How could you be mad at that? How could you be mad at that, family? Like, that's just amazing. But anyway, family, give me you guys thoughts and perspective. Give this video a big thumbs up. I hope you guys enjoyed my take on it. And on that note, family, as always, spread that peace, love, and positivity. Let the love supersede the hate. Peace.